Welcome to Masters of Max, a mobile app experience podcast. Please welcome your host, Tom Butta, Chief Strategy and Marketing Officer at Airship.
Welcome to another episode of Masters of Max. It is my extreme pleasure to welcome the esteemed Christie Hefner to the show. Welcome, Christie.
Thank you very much, Tom.
For those of you that don't know Christie's story, it's quite amazing, and I'll give you a quick recap. So from 1998 to 2008, Christie served as chairman and CEO of Playboy Enterprises, making her the longest serving female CEO of a U.S. public company. Amazing feat. And you helped grow that company from $76 million in 1988 to over $500 million in the late 90s, then on to over $1 billion in global retail sales in her last year as CEO. In addition, beyond the experiences at Playboy Enterprises, Christie's very, very involved in a number of boards and advisory boards. I'm fascinated by the only thing that we actually have in common is where it all began. You and I both attended liberal arts colleges. You went to Brandeis and were a journalism major. So how did that set you up for this wonderful career that you've had?
Well, I have to say, in part, I never intended to go into business. I actually really believe that great liberal arts education undergraduate is the best training for a business career. I just feel that the combination of critical thinking, of expanding your horizons with regard to what you understand, whether that's history or philosophy or political science or economics, is a really critical grounding, especially given the world that you and I are operating in now, which is one of dynamic change, of unpredictability, of the need for innovative and disruptive thinking.
So you talked about change. The world that we live in today is ripe with change on every level, and you have certainly been through, I would call them seismic changes in the decades that you were at Playboy. How did you manage through those critical moments and effectively enable the company to still be vital?
Well, I had one advantage in that when I first became president, the company was in financial difficulty. Change is hard for organizations, for cultures, and for individuals. And when you don't feel you have the luxury of not changing, that is an advantage for leadership. It's still not easy to challenge the conventional wisdom of what business are we in, what business should we be in. You're always basically, I think, looking for the intersection of your assets and resources and the market opportunities. I think we were successful in effect, as you said, transforming ourselves from being a publisher to being a creator of multimedia content. And it always interested me that my friends at much larger publishing companies had a much harder time of that. I really feel that all the research that's been done about diversity of thought leading to better outcomes of both creative opportunities and problem solving, I think that really helped us.
To me, the fundamentals that led you to having this access to insights was the very notion of the two words that you used earlier, which was to be open. I mean, or it could apply to everything. Like, it applies to how people think, it applies to how you organize.
There is still the question of how do you find the right balance between, creativity, which by its nature is risk-taking, and making sure that the risks are manageable. There's the cliche expression, don't bet the ranch. When I was running Playboy Enterprises, I would say, don't bet the mansion. Don't make a decision that if it turns out wrong, I have to call Hef and say, I found this lovely one-bedroom apartment in Westwood for you. So it's, there's a complexity to it that is beyond just the, creativity, openness part. But I think without that element, it's just really difficult to navigate successfully in this environment where all companies have to be technology companies.
As you've had to make these transitions, if in some cases perhaps even transformations into this new world, how important was it to be first as a brand?
I don't believe I ever thought it was critical to be first. We're more nimble And I think that's a challenge for companies as they get bigger, as you know very well, is just to maintain that nimbleness. Systems get baked in and, checks and balances. And that's not a bad thing at all. But it's, again, the balance between, innovation on the one hand and discipline on the other. When I took over the company, it had an extraordinarily broad array of businesses it had gone into, and I mean was operating the businesses. Hotels, clubs, casinos, an insurance business, a products business, a limousine business, a travel agency, a modeling agency, a book publishing, a book club, a record business, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some. And when I took over and we had to restore the company to just cash flow positive and a strong balance sheet, one of the things we did obviously was assess, which of these businesses do we actually have the competitive advantage and ability to be successful in. I think it shaped my view that the brand had, to use the expression, permission to play or trademark equity in a number of different industries. But that was not the same thing as saying that the company had the core competence to manage in those industries.
So do you see any parallels today where brands especially become dependent, and maybe it's the right move, on these platforms or marketplaces?
I'm a big believer, I've talked about this, of being close to the consumer and having that relationship as the brand. I think it's invaluable. So if you have a partnership for distribution, say, or for even the creation of product and distribution, I always operated on the assumption that I wanted to co-own that data, because I wanted the ability to mine that data, whether it was to upsell other products or just honestly for R&D advantage. Because I think where you were going, and I completely agree with you, is if you get too removed from the customer, then you run the risk of simply being out of touch with the marketplace. And then it's hard to catch up if you've already lost that relevance.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that in your last year as CEO, I may have mentioned this before, you generated close to $1 billion in global retail sales. And the statistic that I have in front of me is that 80% of the sales were to women.
Yes, that's correct. Well, it came out of, back to what we were talking about earlier, Tom, in terms of, asking questions, being curious. So we did some brand trademark research early on, and one of the things that was revealed, because honestly it was not something that I thought of, was that while the word Playboy was very much associated with the magazine and therefore with the men's market, the rabbit head was not seen as being singularly representative of men's products, that the rabbit head had all of the personality of Playboy, the sexiness, the fun, the sense of freedom and sophistication and all of that, and was equally relatable for women as well as men.
The other statistic is, as I understand it, in your last year, 40% of your executive team were women.
Yes.
What do you think other businesses can learn from that?
I would say that the necessary predecessor to what you can gain from being open is being intentional about building a diverse team. Simply being open will not get you that, is my experience. And I work with a group called Women Corporate Directors that works to get more women on boards. I have helped a lot of women and people of color get on boards. I've built some women's business organizations like the Committee of 200. There is so much research that shows companies outperform when they have diverse leadership. They navigate challenges and risk management better. They're more innovative. But it doesn't just happen. If you're intentional about it, you'll build a diverse team. And then the question to our conversation is about making sure all those voices are heard.
Christie, it's been an amazing time with you. Thank you for sharing all of your experiences. And I'm really glad to know you.
Well, I appreciate that. And I very much enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.